Okay, for this example, you're just going to need another blank sheet of paper and just draw along with me. So on your blank sheet of paper, draw a vertical line, and we'll call that line L. And then we're going to draw a couple points nearby. We'll have a point Q, and then up around here, it's not really important where that is the point P. Okay, so line L, point Q, and point P. And then somewhere down here, we're going to draw our vector. So I'm going to make my vector a different color. So my vector is, I'm just going to draw it right here. It has a starting point and has an ending point. And I'm going to call my this translation translation T. And I'm going to use my overhead to do this. So I'm putting my overhead sheet on top of the thing. I'm getting some weird lighting, but I think it will be okay. Okay, so I'm going to trace my translation vector here. Oops, I didn't do that with an overhead marker. I'm going to trace my translation vector here in blue. Okay, and once again, I forgot to do this again, but let's go ahead and make sure we know what line this vector lies on. So if you have a ruler, just extend it, kind of a dotted line in the direction that the vector is pointing. And that just helps me to slide it accurately. All right, so now the only thing left for me to do is to trace my line. So I'm going to just get a red one just so you can see the difference. Okay, so here's my line that I want to translate by my translation T. I don't need to label that. And there's point Q and there's point P. So my line and my 2 points there. Okay? All right, so now, just like we did the last time, we're going to take the start point of my vector is going to become the end point. So slide it along, right like that. And so now you can see that this, and I could draw it on my paper, this is the image, but it's not F because I've called this one T. Okay, this is the translated point P. This is T of Q. So these are the images. And look, the line has its own image. So this would be the image of the whole line right there. But we really only use that for points on the line. So let's go back. Let's go back. And I'm going to get it back right where our starting point was. I'm just going to define a point on this line as well that I'm going to translate. So we'll make this point U. So we'll have an image for point U as well. So slide it up the vector so the end point becomes the starting point. And I didn't have that one labeled. I labeled it in the wrong place. All right. It is right there. That's point U. Okay, so slide it up once again. Here we go, third time's a charm. All right, so this is the image of U. So this is T of U. So we have T of U, T of Q, and T of P. If we looked at the translated, so this is just my translation, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. They're exactly the same. And that's the point, is that the every point will move the same distance in the same direction. Therefore, they'll be in the same relationship to one another when they're translated.